Hey everyone, I'm Swissman 15 and I'm accompanied by Pixelated and TheRyanKing.
Hello,
Huzzah!
hello. We
And
are
we're gonna
back.
do the top 10 cavalry units in medieval total war.
Top 10
Ooh.
Cav. And before we get started here, I'm just gonna say this: Strads, we're not even gonna include them
Yeah, we
because they're
hate 'em.
broken.
Yeah.
Like, if you use Strads,
I hate you!
yeah, like if you use them all the
Die in a
time,
hole.
if you use them every once in a while, that's fine, whatever. But if you use them all the time, you should stop because they're
Yeah,
broken.
you should
They're-
try something.
Yeah,
Dude,
they're
It's
just
not
so
like-
It's just too easy to use them. I mean, come on, for their price, for what they can do. We'd put them at number one just based on what they can do. We'll just put that on the table right now. But they
Yeah.
are broken.
Yeah, so we're just not
It's
gonna include
ridiculous
them.
unit.
That's a given that they're the best.
Yeah. Mhm.
But
Yeah, but
starting at number 10.
they shouldn't be the best, but they are.
Yeah, basically. But starting at number 10, we have the Imperial Knights.
Alright, so I have the
Again.
stats again.
Yeah.
Mounted
So-
this time.
Oh yeah! They cost 750 florins, they have an attack of 10, a defense of 16, and a charge of 8.
So pretty solid unit here. Both
Yeah, if you
dis-
go up against them online, you'll notice your cav dropping like flies. You'll
Yeah.
hit them, and they could be standing there, and you'll look, and you'll just keep seeing horses fall over.
They have maces. From their maces, they can actually stand up to other cavalry, and they're actually a lot cheaper than others.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
where they do their work, sustained combat with those maces. They can charge in with the lance, and then when they get close, once they whip those out, it's deadly.
And since they're for the Holy Roman Empire, when you put them alongside Teutonics, they work well together. Just
Yeah,
wanna put that
yeah.
out there.
you could
Yeah.
easily flank around, with the Imperial. And
Absolutely.
yeah,
It's definitely a support unit.
yes, yeah. But they're cost effective, and just when they're mounted or dismounted, it's a great unit. So
Yeah. I should note is that English knights have the exact same stats, but they are more expensive, and for that reason, they did not make it.
okay, that makes sense. And plus, they don't have armor piercing, do they?
No, they do. They have
Oh,
these
they do?
massive axes of
Oh
doom.
right, yeah. They have the pull arm type.
Two maxes.
Yeah.
So coming in at number 9, we have the Norman Knights and Conquistadores mounted. So
Oh yeah.
Yeah, let's go ahead and hear those stats.
They cost 880 florins. They have an attack of 13, defense of 17, and a charge of 6 only. Yeah, they're definitely for a melee encounter rather than charging.
Yeah.
yeah, definitely.
I mean, the
That lower
Conquistadors.
charge.
Conquistadors are much better on foot compared to the Cav, But on horseback, they're still really solid.
Oh, they're definitely formidable on horseback as well. I mean, you put them in a fight. Yeah, it's like what you said. If you don't charge it, against another cav, you'll probably lose. But if it's just a sustained fight, like you come in the rear or something like that, you'll most likely win. It's a
They're-
tough unit. It's hard to exhaust.
Yeah, the Conquistadors and the Normites also are pretty fast for heavy
Yeah.
cavalry.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they don't have armor on their horses. They're actually like stripped down completely.
So
Yeah.
they're good for reactions
Yeah.
and stuff.
I mean,
And counter moves.
Norman Knights, they're not late period, are they? They shouldn't.
No.
Be. Yeah.
They're early period, so they might have a little edge because they come sooner in the campaign.
Yeah, that's true if you want to play Sicily. But most late period units are like fairly quick because their armor is light, but yet they're
Yeah.
still considered heavy. So that is our number 9. So Swissman,
right.
do you want number 8?
Yeah, we have Allen Light Cavalry.
So let's hear those stats real quick before we say anything.
Yep. They cost only 550 florins, less than feudal knights, I'll have you know. Like dismounted feudal knights.
I'll have you know. Here, listen here. Listen
Yeah,
here,
but-
Jimmy.
They have an attack of 11, defense of 13, and a charge of 5.
Wow.
It's pretty good, I have to say, and honestly, some of you might be surprised, like, Alan, what is that? You
Yeah.
know?
What? Yeah.
Um,
It's a really good light. It's like semi-comparable to the Stratiots, actually.
Yeah.
They're like a fixed unit of the Stratiots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're how Stradiats
Exactly.
should
A
be.
more reasonable unit for sure.
Yeah, they are very fast, and they can't get armor upgrades, which is probably right because they're light cav.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
They
should.
shouldn't have armor.
Yeah,
You can recruit them as the Byzantine Empire and one other faction.
Turks.
I think,
Turkey.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. So.
So
I think
yeah,
I'm from Anatolia. I
when you
believe.
use this cav, like Ryan was saying, I was actually really surprised. I was like, "Ooh, Allen cav, what?" It's like, wait, what the hell?
You don't even
But,
see him online that much.
yeah, you don't.
Back in my day, we
Unless
don't
it's a good
have
player.
Alan cav.
But they're great for taking out archers, flanking around, hammer and anvil. You know, in and out, very awesome.
Yeah. Quick moves and taking out mounted archers.
Yeah, the learning curve is a bit higher on them. You know, you have to really watch them, and you know they'll lose a fight if they're stuck in melee. But if you keep them
Yeah,
moving,
Yeah, the good thing is too, though, if they do get charged, they won't just like rout or break immediately. They'll actually fight back until you notice, and
yeah,
you can get
yeah.
them out quickly. They're
They
so
can- yeah.
fast.
they
Yeah.
can get out of sticky situations.
You can basically use them just to harass people and be like the most annoying person ever.
Yeah. So any last words on the Allen Light Cav?
I say give him a shot.
Yeah,
'cause
try
I
them
don't
out. Try
really-
them out. It might take a couple times to get used to, but
Yeah, and if you ever find yourself coming against Stradiots and you want some chance against them, you have to try to use Allens and
Yeah.
just outmaneuver them.
yeah.
I tried to do it in the tournament, but unfortunately, I failed.
Strads are tough. They're tough. So number 7, we have Royal Banderium.
Yeah, we got the stats. They are very cheap for the heavy cavalry. They are 790 florins. They have an attack of 13, defense of 16, and a charge of 8.
A very unique unit to only Hungaria.
You gotta love the Royal Bandrium. What can you
Yes.
say?
Yes.
Probably
Very-
one of my
They just have a
favorite
great
cav
name
units, actually,
alone.
personally. Yeah, I know. I love saying their name, Bandrium.
And also, I think they look frankly cooler than the knights because their horses have like plate armor opposed to just like a mail.
Yeah, they do look
Yeah,
really
they're-
awesome.
It's true.
But also, when you use them, they're so cheap that you can save money and you can upgrade your cav a lot.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna play as Hungary, you definitely have to
It's a
bring them.
no-brainer.
Yeah, yeah.
If you play as them, there's no way you go with
Yeah,
anyone else. It's
you
the
can't
Royal
get- you
Bandrium
can't-
all the way.
You can't get the Chivalric Knights of Hungary because for some reason they're worse than the Chivalric.
Yeah, I don't
Chivalric
understand
everyone else.
why. I don't know why that is. Oh,
No, that's not that surprising with some of the units in this game. How backwards, everything is sometimes.
Yeah.
Boyar sons,
Wah, wah, wah.
Royal Bandrium, great unit. Go toe to toe with most cav. Very cheap for what they do.
Yeah, good for low money battles
Yeah.
if you want strong.
I mean,
cav.
even high money battles, they-
Yeah.
they can do a great
Anyway, you go as Hungary, you go with the Royals.
job. Yeah, yeah.
I just love it. They're probably one of my favorites. So
Yeah.
coming in at number 6, we have the Knights Hospitaller, which are one of the Crusader style units.
Yes.
Great.
Their stats are they cost 880 florins. They have an attack of 13, defense of 16, and a charge of 8.
So yeah, a bit more expensive, but they're so
Worth.
good.
Yeah.
Very worth it. You don't feel like you're being cheated out of your money.
Yeah, and you can also get 2 armor upgrades. with
Yeah.
them.
Which is
Which
why
is- That's
we-
a big bonus.
we didn't include the Knights Templar because they can't get armored upgrades
As much as the
as the
Hospitaller.
Hospitaller. Yeah.
I mean,
So-
I don't personally like the unit because every Christian faction gets them, and I don't think that's right.
Yeah, that's kind of lame, but it's a way to balance the game. Honestly, it gives most factions a fair trade, I guess you could say.
Yeah, without it, Scotland would be down the tubes.
Yeah, Scotland would be awful, but they look really cool too.
Yeah, the black and white.
they're
have to love
Crusaders.
it.
Yeah,
Yep.
and I mean, a lot of people already know what these cav can do, or this cav can do. So
You'd be surprised though, with some of the units, how much they cost and what little they do.
Mhm.
And the other way, conversely, the units that cost barely anything and what they can do.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
definitely test it yourself. Just
Yeah.
because it also for this game really surprises me even now.
Yeah, after playing it for years.
Yeah.
But yeah, if it's a high money game, Knights Hospitaller definitely a good pickup.
Number 5, we have Chivalric Knights / Noble Knights. They have the stats of
Not
they
like you're gonna
cost.
say a third one there for a second.
Yeah.
I kind of left that one up in the air.
Yeah.
They cost 930 florins. They have an attack of 13, defense of 17, and a charge of 8. So they're just a little one up from the Knights Hospitaller.
Yes. Very well trained. Heavy armor.
Yeah,
Just solid.
Top tier
Yeah.
cav for sure.
I know they can charge well and they can fight well in melee.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about them.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, well, these guys can't fight a sustained fight, or oh, no, they can't take a charge.
You know, you don't have to think as much with that unit,
Yeah.
which is nice. You know, especially when you're dealing with cav. You definitely don't want to be sitting there like microing 24/7.
Yeah, especially if you're like a newer player or you're still getting, still learning the game.
Yeah, and the cav is probably about the highest learning curve. You know,
Yes,
it's the hardest
yes.
thing for people. Every new Total War player, it's the cav is the hard thing to wrap their
Yeah.
mind around.
I have a theory that you are a noob until you have lost a cab, and then you realize how good they actually are.
Yeah, if you hear someone says cav sucks, they're probably just new. Don't know how
Yeah.
to use them.
Yeah, if you lose the cav engagement before the infantry even starts, there's like a 95% chance you're gonna lose the battle.
Yeah.
So, learning
Usually
cav
look
is
ahead into the future. When you see your cav die, you know the match
Yeah.
is done.
yeah. If you see your cav outclassed, then you just use them
You better-
defensively.
Yeah, you better hope
Right.
you have some spears. To
You want to get, if your cab is outclassed, just try and get your infantry first.
Yeah.
and protect your rear, because if you have nothing protecting your rear, the match is gonna be thrown.
Yeah.
That's where the cav gets their money worth right there. They come in for the hammer and anvil, So
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's easier to rout your enemy than kill your enemy.
Another great thing. Well, most heavy cav, including the noble and chivalric, they can really run down heavy infantry.
Yeah, take out entire units
Yeah.
if they need.
yeah.
So, Swissman, you do it all the time. You have your cav in the front lines.
Yeah, smack that
Yeah.
head on. The like two first ranks
Yeah.
die completely.
If they have no pikes and you do that, it'll kill a bunch of units, and if you pull them out quickly, they don't lose that much, so they can still take on the cab after.
Yeah, and then you just send up your infantry and they'll clean it up.
Yeah, with infantry, if you see a bunch of heavy cav coming directly at you, don't charge back.
Yeah.
Put some
Yeah.
spears or pikes in front.
Yeah, that's why
You
I
it's
learn
learned that
something
from one of
the
the
hard
VOD
way.
members.
Oh man.
that or countercharge with cav.
Yeah.
Number 4, SARS Guard.
Ooh. I personally love this unit. They have an attack. Oh, I skipped something. They cost 840 florins, so they're really cheap. They have an
Yeah.
attack of 14, defense of 19, and a charge of 5.
So Russia needs a
bad.
unit like this.
Definitely. I mean, this is their ace in the hole. You get a bunch of SARS guard coming at you. It's scary. They're
Yeah.
tanks.
Yeah,
If you
Yeah,
look at
if-
them, they look like ancient tanks.
yeah, basically.
Really tough, strong cav. I mean, you try to shoot them with bows, take down their numbers. It's hard to do.
Yeah,
Even without upgrades, they will beat Chivalric Knights that have upgrades.
yeah,
Or well, they'll come close, and they'll be close because they're good in melee, not so good in the charge though.
yeah. The charge is a little weak, but it's not that big of a deal.
It takes so much energy to kill them. That's the annoying thing about SARS guard. Makes them a really good unit to bring.
Yeah.
Especially if you want to keep someone focusing on them. It's definitely a great unit to use.
They're not the fastest unit.
Yeah, they're
Okay.
pretty damn slow.
They're pretty slow, which makes sense. All that
Yeah,
armor.
that heavy armor, that
Yeah, they-
cataphractoid style armor.
But again, just another unit you do not go without.
Yeah,
if you're playing as Russia.
Yeah, you gotta
Yeah.
bring
Must
them.
have. And then they go well with the Druzina, I think it is.
Yes.
Yes.
The yeah,
Yeah, the mounted.
yeah.
Now, the cataphractoid, they look exactly the same. Are their stats and everything else the same?
No, they have a lot less. They have 10, 16 stats and a charge of 6. And they cost, I think, the same as Imperial Knights. So they just have less charge, so they didn't make it for that reason.
Yeah. Very similar unit though.
Yeah. Okay, so for number 3, we have the Royal Mamluks,
The Royal Mamluks.
an Eastern unit.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
they are royal indeed because they cost 1,050 florins.
Yeah, that's expensive.
Yeah.
That's,
That is very expensive, but they are
Yeah.
worth every penny.
Yeah, they have an attack of 14, a defense of 17, and a charge of 5. Not to mention they have maces, so they have an AP attack.
Yep. Very good. They are an Egyptian unit, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
Egyptian
Or
unit.
can anyone else bring? I don't think so, right?
No.
Yeah, I'm
No.
pretty sure it's just Egypt.
Yeah, so
They actually, don't they look like the SARS guard too? Don't they have the same type of armor? On
No,
their
the
horses?
the actual man on the horse has a different.
No,
sort
not
of-
the man. I'm talking about the horse.
Oh.
like the armor on the horse.
The armor on the horse.
Yeah, it's
they're-
pretty similar.
Yeah. Egypt needs a unit like this to make them very powerful.
Yeah, and they're good in the desert too, apparently. So,
Do they have
Having-
combat bonus?
huh?
Do they have a combat bonus? I'm not sure. I don't think so.
Really don't. I thought it would just apply to the faction.
Yeah, overall. Maybe not because of all the armor, but it's like, I don't know. But it's the fact, like, even though they're so expensive, it works well with Egypt because most of their infantry and such are a lot cheaper
Yeah.
compared to like
And-
Western factions.
And also, what they have going for them is they too can get 2 armor upgrades.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's another nice bonus.
yeah, very
Definitely.
very strong unit. A must get if you're playing Egypt and it's a lot of money. To
Yeah,
keep
and they're
you in
just
fight.
strong all around. Just a strong unit, you know.
Yeah,
I think it's definitely worth the money. Goes Egypt. Royal Mamluks all the way. Anything with the name Royal in it. you gotta bring
it's a
it.
good guess that they're gonna be good.
Yeah.
Coming in number 2, we have Polish Guard / Polish Knights. They're very cheap. They cost 840, and they're basically like Chivalric Knights. Besides they're cheaper, they have attack of 13, defense of 17, and a charge of 8.
Yes, good old
Polish.
Poland. Good
Polish
old
Guard,
Poland.
probably one of my favorite cab units.
Yeah,
Top.
I mean Poland is
Yeah.
known for their cav, and
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, Poland's weighed down by their archers, but that's a different story.
yeah, I mean if you're gonna play as Poland, you just, I mean rush, I guess.
Be aggressive.
Yeah, because their archers, oh my god, just like awful. Like
Yeah, the worst. You'll be so mad because everyone will have better range than you, and you're still sitting there like, "What's going on?
Yeah.
Fire already!"
you have to run like so close to the enemy.
Yeah, you have to like, and if you dare target, like, click on a unit and aim at it, target it. Oh, they'll be so annoying. They'll go even closer. Like
Yeah.
they'll be like,
Yeah.
in their faces.
But back to the Polish knights here.
Yeah, they're
Um,
just cheap Chivalric Knights, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, just very good, solid workhorse of a unit, which is kind of funny. Workhorse. Okay, anyways, I get them every time I play as Poland, which I don't play as Poland that much, but when I do, I bring
You're
the Polish
feeling
Guard.
lucky.
I don't always play as
Poland.
Poland, but
yeah,
when I do,
exactly.
I bring Polish Guard.
Yeah.
There's not much to say on them, so I think we should just go to the number 1.
Yeah, number 1, the Teutonic Knights.
Ooh, personally, my favorite unit in the entire game.
Lame.
Okay, you don't exist anymore. Alright, Teutonic Knights. They cost 950 florins. They have an attack of 13, a defense of 16, and a charge of 8. But they too can get 2 armor upgrades as well.
So wow.
Can't argue with those stats.
Yeah, amazing, just
And they-
amazing cab unit.
And they have the mace, which puts them way
Which,
ahead.
yeah, you're just like
Yeah.
done at that point.
Yeah,
Pack
yeah.
your bags. Teutonic Knights are in.
if you're versing Teutonic Knights, whatever cav you have, they're outmatched. Like you gotta make sure to support them with infantry because
You better throw those spears at them.
yeah, spears, pikemen, you're gonna need it. So.
Rain every archer's bow on it.
Yeah, focus it down.
I mean, I should mention is that all this cav is like really close. It's these minute things that can change the way the game goes.
Yeah, I mean it's hard. That's why it's really hard to talk about each cav unit because they're so close together. They all do the same job pretty much, but some are a little bit
Yeah,
better.
it's hard to quantify the units, like usefulness and whatnot, just because Cav's so multi-purpose, so
Yeah,
But when it comes to Teutonic Knights, they have the edge because they're just like Chivalric Knights and they have the good charge
Yeah.
and they have the mace.
we can confidently put them in number 1 just because of their performance and how much they cost.
And they're
Can't
Teutonic.
really argue with it.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
I mean, don't you just love the mace?
Even their name is cool.
That is our top 10 list. Let's go ahead and go over to honorable mentions. Any cav units that you think should be recognized?
Well, one thing
what-
I'd like to talk about, I wish that one thing that's really surprising is France is supposed to have the best cav in the game. You probably haven't noticed many units from France on here. They have like the Lancers, which are like 1,000, supposed to be the best. They're
930.
garbage. Or 930.
Yeah.
But anyways, they're supposed to be like the best cav units, but they don't.
It's just like
So
the
that's
Gothic
kinda-
Knights that have no shield. They're just not good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a little annoying, just because it's not very accurate. at
Historically
times,
true,
but,
yeah.
That's whatever. It's a game, so so for honorable mentions, I'm trying to think of some cav units.
I
The Norse
really-
War Clerks.
Yes, that's a very solid cav unit there.
Yeah, the problem with them is that they actually don't win in melee, even though I have the mace. I don't know why. I've tested it 1,000 times because each time I'm like, they should win, they should win, they should win, but they don't win, and the charge isn't that good.
Maybe they're just not well trained, so. But they're a really cool unit too, so really unique unit. I like the Byzantine Lancers. I think
Me
they're
too.
a pretty solid
Me
unit.
too. I always love.
Yeah, but the Byzantine Lancers, they really need upgrades.
Yeah, they do. But if you're gonna play as Byzantine, it's always good to bring a couple of those cav units.
Yeah. I think the two of them that we should mention, actually three that we should mention, is the Christian Guard, Khan's Guard, and then the Turkish cast, the Kwapukulu.
Oh yeah, the bizarre name there.
Yeah, so I should just start with the
Wait,
Christian
what was
Guard.
that last one?
It's like I'm not even gonna try to pronounce it because I'm just gonna
Who is it from?
The Turks.
The Turks.
The Turks.
Yeah, a lot of people don't play them.
They're really
use them.
expensive. They're 1,100 florins.
Oh, the Kwapukulu or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's such a weird name.
But they have the mace, and if you can afford one too, they will do well, but they're really expensive, and that kind of puts them out.
Yeah.
And then as for the Christian Guard, they are 970 florins, and they perform like Knights Templar, but they can't even get an armor upgrade at all.
Yeah, they're much better on foot.
But something I'd like to mention, a unit that's really good, super underrated, the Mailed Knights.
Yeah.
They can fight with the best of them. A lot of people don't know that, but yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
They're definitely a
680.
flanking unit.
We've put them up against the best.
If
cav
you can
in
get
the-
them in that triangle formation and get a good charge off, you can beat, like Chivalric Knights and Feudal Knights.
Yeah, you can. You definitely.
If they're not
yeah, we
upgraded.
know. I've done it. We've tested it recently. We didn't know. We did a few matches, and every single time now that I've used Mailed Knights, they've always done a great job.
Yeah.
Whether they're attacking infantry, other cavalry, do not look at that unit and think it's crap because it's a really actually.
I mean,
dependable
they
unit.
they are built to flank. If
Yeah.
you can avoid the head-on charge with them, you should. Have like a Teutonic, cav go in there first, and then flank around with the mailed. So.
I think they're probably more vulnerable from rear. I wouldn't mind throwing them in the head.
Yeah, I mean,
attacking someone from the head, just because look, we've done tests with the Mailed Knights. This is not from this. This is from a while back ago, and they could beat top tier units in a
Yeah,
head-on
if they
charge.
get a good charge, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I have one last honorable mention, and that's the Hussar.
Oh,
Yeah, from,
Yes.
Yeah,
Hungary.
they're very cheap, and they can go toe-to-toe with heavy cav. They're like advanced Mailed Knights.
yeah.
Yeah, to be honest, I haven't used the Hussars much. I like their weird shields.
When you use them in combination with the Royal Banderium, and you give them all a bunch of upgrades, they will smash anything.
Yeah, they're pretty good. Pretty good. So I hope you enjoyed this list, guys. If you disagree with it, please leave a comment of your top 10. I'd love to hear your opinion, and I hope you enjoyed this one. And we'll see ya.
Goodbye, guys.
Yeah, Struts best. Struts forever. No,
Hate them all.
I'll see you guys.
But
Bye.